Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. Today we're going to be going over some of my favorite settings for the 1073 pre. Some of my presets. I have 4 presets that I use for live and recording applications, different things. And some of them are kind of set up where I can just swap out certain things in particular and, just change the sound up a little bit. But all of these are going to be based around the pre 1073, which personally I think is the best digital preamp I've heard in a long time. So just to give you guys a little bit of that, we're gonna do a little bit of that now. Let's hear a little bit of that. So that's the general compression and EQ settings that I'll be going with for this video. And just for a quick reference, I will bypass this stuff. And you can hear a little bit of this, just my bass dry. So this is the compressor settings. So just the compressor. So nice, even compression with a little bit of boost on it. Nothing too crazy. Turn my volume pedal back on, just so I can do my swells. Right? But let's get the actual preamp settings I'm using. And this is the other ones are slightly different, but this is my setting for when it's just I'm using just the preamp setting and the compression, by themselves. And I might be using this to run directly to a cabinet or a bass amp or something of that nature. Or I might be running it straight into the console, something like that. So, those are those settings. So we already heard that sound. But I also have this RC boost when I want to add a little firmness to this setting. So, add just a little small variation. So I'm going to give it to you one more time without it. Okay, so with the RC boost, which is short for really clean boost, and this is actually an exotic pedal RC boost clone, basically, and this is actually another one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite booster pedals on. It's so clean and has a lot of firmness. So here we go. So yeah, you know, that's a nice clean boost setting, but it gives it a little bit of firmness. Just so I'm gonna do it back to back so you can hear them a little bit better. So as you can see, it's a very subtle difference, but it definitely makes a difference. So it just depends. You know, sometimes you might be going for that more of that classic rock um, tone. You know, you want to less of the modern, just a slightly less of the modern tone when you add that RC boost and the preamp together. So bam, those are my settings for that. And of course, I have my FX loop here. Um, if I wanted to run it out and run it back in, you know, I could do that and rada. So the send is actually going to the amp, and the dry is going XLR out. So, and just for a reference, I have my Ampeg here, just so you guys can see how this kind of works for me. All right, so I have this cab mic'd up here. I have the Ampeg VA 210 V2, 210s in the tweeter, and that's also running with a Fender 115 Bassman Neo cab, whatever. Um, but I have that mic'd up with a CAD D12 kick mic, and this is what that sounds like. I'm gonna give that to you without the XLR out first, and then I'm gonna mix them a little bit for you guys. Here we go. With the RC boost. So as you can see, that joint, and that's running into the return of the Ampeg. So it's basically using the pre 1073 as the preamp for the amp instead of using the BA's head, it's preamp itself. So I pretty much bypassed that, ran straight into the return, and this thing sounds so good as a actual amp head, which is crazy. Like it would sound. They should. Somebody should make a 1073 bass amp. That would be amazing. Um, Especially like, and I can only imagine, and this is the digital version. So you already know the analog version is stupid fire, but the analog version is like you gonna pay like 1,200 for a good, you know what I'm saying, hardware version of this. But you got one right here. There's also one, just quick tip. There's also one under in Logic. If you go under another clone, I don't think it's as good as this one personally. It doesn't sound as good as this one to me. But it's one of these in Logic. If you go under Vintage EQ, if you go into EQ under the plugins, go to EQ and go to the Vintage EQs. It's the one that says Console EQ, and it'll be pretty much a 1073 clone plugin. So if you already have Logic or Mainstage, that's another way you can do this if you don't have a B6, But if you do have a B6, you're in luck because now you got this killer. That is a killer tone. So, moving on. Oh, we gotta now let's mix these up a little bit. can see, mixing it as with the cabinet signal coming through the mic, a mic'd up cabinet, and having a DI, either one, you pretty much just, if you are doing this at your house or mixing for yourself a little bit, you pretty much choose whichever signal you want to be the dominant one, and then the other one you just use as a little seasoning. And a good way to do that is just kind of pick where your dominant one, where you want that to be. Bring it down just a little bit, and just casually bring the other signal in gently. Like start from nothing and bring it in a little bit until it fattens the sound up. But if you bring it in too much, it'll actually weaken the sound. So you have to have a nice balance between the two, and you can use it to tame some of the low end if you want to. Adding a little bit more of it sometimes, then messes with the phase and cancels things out, phase cancellation, things like that. So, yeah, without getting too technical, just play around with the mix. But I'm going to take the cabinet back out because we're now going to move to the IRs. So now we're going to move to, if we're just using the B6, right? So today I played this morning somewhere, and it was a church I haven't been to before. So I just took my Zoom B6 because I knew whatever bass amp they had really didn't matter to me. And that way I can easily just run this preamp. All I did was run this preamp and then run an XLR to the system. So now here's a little bit of that. You pretty much already know what the preamp sounds like by itself, but here it is one more time. Oh yeah, this one has slightly different settings, so I'll give you that real quick. So, that's that setting. Then add the IR. And for this IR, we're using the SVT4, which is Ampeg 410s with a tweeter. you can hear, you get plenty of spank on that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's two different completely tones just having the IR. And just as a heads up, let me know if you guys want me to do the bass cabinets. I don't use the bass cabinets in the B6. In my opinion, they're terrible. They actually could have just left those off. I know they use about 3 times less processing power than the IRs, but they suck. They're terrible, and it's not too many things on this unit that I'd say suck. Those bass cabinet simulations, just take them off. If y'all got to update, take them off. Add the bit crusher back. Add the ring modulator back. Like, y'all took off so many good effects, and y'all left on those crappy bass sims. Take them off, please. Please take them off. Or add the ability to take them off, or for us to add those other effects like bit crusher and things like that. That would be amazing. As an update, Zoom. Thank you. Yeah. Otherwise, what we working with right now, this is stupid amazing. And just for a reference, or just for your knowledge, I am not using any of the DI types right now. Like, I'm gonna add a tube one. I'm gonna circle through some of the DI types real quick. I will. Let me see. Do they come up on the screen? Nope, they don't come up. So I'll just let you guys know when I'm using a DI type. So here we go. Tube one, DI. Tube 2, and Tube 2 is based off the Reggie DI, which is the red DI, Tube DI, but it's Tube 2 on here. And solid state one. Solid state 2, which is also a the Rupert Neve DI clone, active DI clone. that's pretty much that setting. So even as you can see, another thing I love about how versatile the B6 is, even when you've already shaped your tone, like you already have it perfect, right? You can stay right there, or you can still go back and add these 4 DI types. And the first one adds a lot of nice bottom thickness to it. So just for a reference, this is the bass without it. Tube 1, tube 2, solid state 1, solid state 2, and without it again, you know. So even when you've already done all your sound shaping and all that stuff, you still can add a little texture to it. And if you have a nice active EQ bass like mine, and you really like the sound of your bass, you can also, if you're not needing to run to an amp, um, you can do something like this. You can go ahead and put the pre after the IR. So basically, my bass's active preamp is now like the preamp acting like my amp preamp, and then I'm running into the compressor, and then the IR. So basically, it's like I have an Aguilar OP3 preamp in here, running 18 volts. So I got plenty of headroom to push it like an amp if I wanted to. So run that into the IR, and then it's like you ran an IR is a sound capture of what a cabinet sounds like in a room through a particular mic setup. So like my kind of theory with that is, it's like I'm taking that mic setup and signal from that mic, and now I'm running that through the pre 1073, which is actually a mic preamp. So in my mind, that's kind of like I'm taking the mic signal from a bass amp cabinet and running it to a 1073. And I know that may technically be not be what's happening, but that's what's happening in my mind, and that's what I'm going with. And you're not gonna kill my joy. You're not gonna make me sad. No, but check it out. quick reference with it before it. So just personally, I like it before, but you know it's nice to have some options with things, um, as well as if you ever need to dirty this rig up a little bit, you just add a distortion in there. You know, instead of I don't know the compressor, you actually can add I'm trying to remember. Well, if you want a dirty rig, I'll do another one with one of the other preamps that are in here that I really like. It's another preamp in here that has a really nice overdrive distortion setting on it, and it's actually really quite warm and clear. Um, so, but and it's only and it's actually one of Zoom's um, I guess one of their original preamps that they made. It's called Clear Drive, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, so this is y'all got all the settings for that. All right. So next, I know it doesn't really look like I switched anything because I really didn't. I really haven't switched much. Same settings for the preamp and the compressor as the first two. Well, as the last one. Um, just a different cab. So this one's an Aguilar 410s with a tweeter. And those are the settings for it. Here we go. top of that, you know, if you wanted to, say you do have some analog preamps or some different things like that you'd like to run before the Zoom B6, you can take this exact setting and you can do that as well. I'm gonna add, just so we can go a full Aguilar rig, like, you know, I'm gonna add the AG preamp in there, and I'm gonna run all this into, you know, AG preamp into the, you know, all of this, basically AG preamp, 160 compressor, volume pedal into the pre 1073, send it out to the effects loop if I wanted to, rada, and then also running the IR. So I'm gonna do all of that right now, and I'm even gonna I'll let you guys know, but I'm even gonna switch on the bass amp and run it out to there as well, so you can get a sense of, like, let me see how I have these panned out real quick. Yeah, so we can do that. Yeah, now I'll do the amp as well. So here we go. All right, now I'm gonna turn on the amp. So basically, you'll be getting some of the dry, mostly everything up into the pre-70, pre-10, 73, right? So AG into the 160 into the 1073. And then it's going to split out into the amp, and that's all going to be like my preamp, or two preamps I'm running into my Ampeg. That's mic'd up. And then we still going to be running the IRs in the system, so we'll actually have like a perfectly mic'd up cab. And, you know, we're going to mix those two signals there. All right, here we go. Well, three. Here we go. So now I'm gonna switch that mix up a little bit. So as you can see, easily a great recording setup right there. Easily. Um, you know, and of course sometimes that's adding a little bit too much color for some people, but it's always an option. Um, I actually like the SGT running in there a lot more. And that may just be me. And if you have a Ampeg Venture Head, it'll be the same thing. I actually keep yeah. So it's pretty much the same thing. The SGT and the and Venture Head, Ampeg Venture Head are pretty much the same preamp. So I like to run that into the pre. So I guess if you have that, you can use the B6 as in the effects loop of the Venture Head. So basically, you run the B6 into the straight in. See how we do this. Oh, use four cable method. Just use the four cable method with the Zoom B6 and bam, you be there. Okay. So, and I'll go over how to do that if that's something you guys are interested in, how to do a four method cable so you can get your actual amps preamp running before the pre 1073 and then back out into the amp. You do that as well, and then route the signal straight. Still come back with the IRs, running that to the system. So it's a lot of little things you could do. You can have a very complex bass tone. Or. So here we go. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's so nice. I like that way more than the Aguilar one. The Aguilar one running in there is mad like firm and has some real nice warmth to it. But when you run this Ampeg into this joint, this SGT, it's just a whole different thing. Like it sounds so good because I'm not gonna say because I don't really have a specific reason. I do like how the Ampeg adds that normal harmonic distortion amount in there, and then the pre 1073 is like super clean. So along with I like the sound of the 160 comp as well, which is based off of that DBX 160A. Um, and mind you guys, if you actually go buy this gear, it'll actually sound even better than this. I ain't even gonna lie to you. They don't sound better than the actual pieces of gear themselves. But man, when you're talking about for the money, for $500, you're getting all this versatility. Plus, these are just some of my patches that I use for this type of stuff. But you can, I have whole pedal board patches on here. Um, Let me see. Yeah. So like stuff like that, you can run it as a actual pedal board, or you can run it as like your main, um, use it like a Tone X type pedal where you're using captures and IRs. You can use it as an IR loader as well. So you can have it where you got all these different presets and stuff, and it just gets real. It gets real funky and nasty in there. ain't even gonna give that to y'all right now though. It's for another video. But you see how fast I can click between stuff and just it's just the response of the unit is amazing too when you're clicking between patches. So now say you don't have an SGT. Aha! I got you. I already got you covered. I already know what you're thinking. I ain't got it. I can't get both. You know, that's a stock. That's you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much 900 for both of those. All right. You know, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? But if you just get a Zoom B6, I got you. If you could just get you a Sweetwater payment plan and pay that thing off in 9 easy payments or something. I don't know what they doing these days. But if you're a gigging musician, you make sure you write it off on your taxes. I don't know how other countries' taxes work, but U.S., if we buy gear for work, same way if I'm a contractor or, you know, I build houses and I buy hammers, I need to buy hammers to build the house or whatever the case, I write it off. Same thing with the B6. Write that sucker off right there, yammy off on them taxes, boy. And you ain't pay for it. Let's go. Okay, so let's get into some of these settings here. I'm going to go back, take some of this off. So this is my bass with nothing on it. And we're going to take this amp out. We don't need the amp. So that's my bass dry. Let's kick on this Ampeg SVT bass amp. And I pretty much have this set how I have my give it a little more value. So I pretty much have this set up how I have my SGT set up. So here's my SGT. So that's the actual SGT, and here's my like kind of like clone of that. I kind of close to it. Sorry. That was both of them. So here's the. Let me do that again. Here's the SGT first. And here's the Ampeg SVT. So So, as you can hear, they're very close. Just like a slight more, of course the SVT has a lot more headroom. But, alright, so now we're going to take pretty much, this is just the Ampeg SVT bass amp in the B6 for the rest of this. So, we'll take that, run that into this pre-1073. There are the settings for that. Here we go. So, as you can hear, it adds quite a bit. Even though we're not really EQing too much on the actual pre, it adds so much just turning it on. I'm going to do a little bit of on and off with it. can add on the SVT 410s with a tweeter. Those are my settings for that. So you can pretty much swap out this amp for any amp of your, that's on here. You can use the Bassman, Fender Bassman head if you would like. I don't particularly like this head, but guess to give y'all a little bit of stuff on here. Switch out. Go to SWR head on here. Aguilar 750, DB 750. as you can see, you know, it sounds fine without it. But we ain't going for fine, we're going for great. It's that secret sauce you can put on anything. Here's a Trace Elliott. Bass. Yep. Just switch it through amps. The ones that allow us to do it in there. Some amps require a little too much processing power for this. And this is when you're pretty much using this just as an amp modeler at this point. Like, it's pretty much just an amp modeler when you're doing this like this. But if you don't use the bass amp, you got, you can add a few more effects. If you don't use the 1073, you can use a few more effects, but using them together is going to give you a nice balance, between things. So, you just flip it through amps, trying out different stuff, things you can try. So, I actually like this on the dark, and you can just add like some presence. So, um, yeah, that's all the amps there. Let's go back to the SVT. One thing I love about the Zoom, when you're auditioning and stuff, it saves your settings. Like if I wanted to flip back through the amps, they all would be pretty much how I left them. So, so you know, that way you guys get to hear things a little bit back to back, which makes auditioning things a lot better. Um, as well as you can switch through any of these IRs. I like, I always like the Aguilar 410 through the tweeter is my favorite on here. And next, and the SVT is a close second. SVT 410s. So, you know, you got plenty of options there. Just switching IRs and switching the bass amp head. Plenty of options. You can also swap that, like I said, swap the bass amp head out for something else that you may want to color. Like one of the other preamps there, say you like, I don't know, whatever you like. Um, Say you like the DI Plus, which is MXR's thing, and you wanted to blend that, and you wanted to just enhance this sound. Take some of that color and that gain out of there. without it. With it. So as you can see, it just enhances everything. Like whether it be just your natural bass, your bass tone, or the natural tone of any of your basses that you may have. Any effects pedals you run before it, it's just something. I like it to run it right before my IR. So run everything. I pretty much at this point run everything into this pre 1073 because it's a Neve 1073 preamp clone. And even if I had a Neve 1073 preamp, I wouldn't be carrying it around. Like I'd be leaving it at home for the studio work and stuff. But this is great to have on a multi effects pedal, and none of the other ones have it, and nobody's talking about it. This is the best digital preamp I've used in terms of the saturation, the warmth, the things it's adding as a just an effect on a multi effects unit, not having to have a whole separate unit, just something that's already there. It's just amazing. It sounds so good. It just sounds so good, especially in person or in live. Like when I was using it and they had it, running through the system at church. Oh my goodness! Like, and this was like a nice sized church, a bigger church. Probably about 1,200 seat church. So they had a real nice system, and it just sounded so good running in there. And I was running it straight into the return, into the effects loop, the return of the effects loop into an Ampeg 410s with a tweeter, a real Ampeg 410s with a tweeter. It just sounded so good, all mixed together and everything. So, you know, I would say, man, just this preamp by itself is almost worth getting this unit. But the fact that you got all this other stuff, like you can say that about several things on this unit. You know, you can say the bass amps are worth getting about itself. The preamps are worth getting about. The IRs are worth getting about itself. The routing capabilities, the sound quality, because it's running like 32-bit float. You know what I'm saying? It's converting at a high conversion rate as well. Really good. Just tons of presets, tons of options. So, I'm just amazed at this unit. The more I explain it and help you guys go through it and learn it and different things like that, and the more I use it for my purposes, the more I'm just like this. Whatever they come out with next, it got to be crazy. It's got to be crazy to top this. It's gonna have to be. Yeah, good luck with that Zoom. I know that's going to take a little bit of time because this is quite a piece of gear, along with the touch screen and then the ability to control things from your iPad live or control it from your computer, and it's an audio interface for your iPad or your computer or your phone. If you got an iPhone, it'll be an audio interface for your phone, is in Androids too. Um, but wow, just an amazing piece of gear. So I definitely would recommend, you know, for your sounds, check out these settings and these presets. And let me know in the comment which one is your favorite, or which combination of effects that you would use running into it. Oh, if you got, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I know I keep forgetting to say that more often, but I try not to have to say that every 5 seconds throughout the video. I know I do longer videos, but you know, I want you guys to just kind of be enjoying the content. Plus, I don't want to be breaking my train of thought like that to be saying subscribe, like, and share. So I just need you guys to help me out with that. Y'all know how the YouTube streets work and how the game go. Y'all know I need y'all to subscribe, like, and share. You know what I'm saying? Help me out in the algorithm. But this has been another episode of All Bass Creations Effects Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Negus. You can find me on all platforms at the Bass Negus. And I'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget to hit that Cash App and them supers, and the subscribe and like button and notifications. Send it to a friend that this might help. If you got a bass player that you think this would be useful, or a forum, go ahead and put it on them forums. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.